you don't own integrity, people won't believe that all the things you've accomplished.
And I think we don't always acknowledge how human beings, survived and evolved by having an instinct to hunt.
Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Let's start off with names and call signs.
That'd be first. All right, I'm Chuck Somerville. I don't have a call sign. I just go by my name.
I always wondered that.
Yeah, I got a call sign once upon a time, except I hated it because it came up from something stupid. We went to a game. It was Massachusetts' Stronghold, and I told the guy my name. He looked at me and goes, Jug? And it's like, no, that's not my name. And somehow, yeah, and that's how I ended up with a short-term call sign Juggernaut, which I despise and haven't ever used since. So I just go by my name.
All right.
Juggernaut,
like that.
That's what we used to call you
Yeah,
way
I
back.
hated it.
That's fair.
I'm Jacob Koss, and I go by the call sign Swift.
I'm Zach Mullen, go by call sign Irish.
Bruce, I go by Kinky.
All right. We learned from the interview why.
Yeah.
Yeah. PG. How long has Opfor been a team?
Since 2009, officially.
All right.
Some of us were, Bruce is one of the original members of Opfor, but back then you and I were members of Wolfpack.
Yeah.
That was the old team rivalry back in the day. And Wolfpack is pretty much a defunct, non-existent team at this point, but
We won.
yeah, they did.
I've heard a lot about Wolfpack, and last time, Bruce, you and I talked a little about. I have to find some of them to talk about Wolfpack.
Yeah, we were saying Hutch would be the
Would be the guy to talk to, and Omar, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I'd say that probably at the same time for the three of us.
All right, so it's just a couple renegade Wolfpack members around.
Yeah, there are a few of us left at this point. We're pretty much all patched over.
Yeah.
All right. Who started the team and why?
Grim Steve started it with me and Jeff and Jeff's brother Jay. Just to have a group to play with. But it kind of became a team because we were always set. Like Wolfpack usually got on one team,
Yep.
and so they needed something to balance them out. So we started playing together and were almost always against them on the other team to kind of balance that. It grew from there.
Hence the Opfor, right?
That was the joke.
The Opfor.
We were always on the bad guy team. We were always the bad guys. So
Well, it works. I think it's a solid team name for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's another Opfor in New York.
Yeah.
There's more than one. So.
There's another Death Eaters in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're still going or not, but they're still there. Or there was someone's name. People are always like with us. They're like, I've heard it many times, anyways. They're like, "So you guys Harry Potter fans?"
That's what I assumed.
No. So quick story. My wife, who doesn't watch Harry Potter, doesn't really know of its existence, came up with our name, and then our logo. She came up with the idea of using a plague doctor and stuff. And I'm like, and I didn't watch enough Harry Potter to know that that's where Death Eaters came from. It
Yeah,
just seemed
that's the Nazis in Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know, and I found that out later, like much later. And I was like, son of a bitch! I already have the logo made and everything.
Yeah. You got like a hooded guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, yeah, I know, man. But I think it was the plague doctor idea for a logo was first, and then she thought, well, Death Eaters, it just kind of fits.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, it's great. I like that a lot. And then like a year later, I started seeing the conspiracy with the Death Eater Nazi, which makes sense. The whole
people don't like J.K. Rowling anymore, so you're safe.
right. I mean, for now,
Right.
I'm sure there'll be somebody at some point. But my wife made it up. She doesn't watch Harry Potter. She just said, "Who the fuck is Harry Potter?" Right. So, and that's a very natural statement from her. What are the benefits to being on a team rather than being a lone wolf? Do you guys think?
I mean, for me, it's always built, you get to play with people, and the longer you play with them, the more you get to know them. The bigger community you build around them, you end up with friends for, at least a decade at this point. And, Opfor and Wolfpack might have started as a rivalry, but we started going to big games together. And at that point, it kind of knitted the teams together in that sense. So I think it's a big part of having a community around you that you can rely on the people that you're with and have fun together.
Yeah, so I ran alone for a long time, and I would say the community part is the biggest part about running with a team. It's not necessarily just playing with them, but having people to hang out with, talk to. I'm big into Tekken, and Ian, who couldn't be here today, and I just chat all the time about Tekken. So stuff like that's just really nice to have teammates to do. And we actually all had a tech night last night where we all went over to Bruce's house and just worked on guns and gear for the upcoming season.
Which I think is awesome. I've heard about your guys' tech nights. That's fantastic. I've heard a lot about your work. I hear you do really good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you guys ever need work anytime, hit me up.
Well, I'm
for
sure I will do. I have a bunch of it over there. I mean, I got some like minor knowledge to it, enough to fix one of our Crytek's and send it back out. But beyond that, I have a stack of gearboxes over there that I'm too scared to open. But do you guys travel to other fields together? You kind of just answered that, but do you want to elaborate more on that?
Yeah. So we went to Pine Plains. It was a big mill sim back in the day that they put on. We went to Pine Plains 5. Was that 2010?
2000,
Was it 11?
maybe.
It doesn't matter. Either way,
Something
it was back then. And one of the guys that I went with from Wolfpack and the guys from Opfor were on different teams. And the guy I went with got heat stroke. And I ended up playing with a group of guys from New Hampshire who introduced us to the Autumn Justice and Spring Offensive series. And then we've started playing that pretty much every year. And then we'll travel to Rhode Island, usually out of state for a winter game, just indoors.
How was that this year?
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
We've had worse.
It looks fun. How do you guys like playing indoor versus outdoor?
I like it. I
Yeah.
mean, realistically, we play indoors, outdoors, out in the field. We build
It's fair.
lots of CQB, so it's still kind of the same. And that, well, I mean, you get longer ranges, but you still get a lot of the same feel.
Yeah.
And it's still really good and lots of fun to play.
Now, is talking, I think it was Omar and maybe Ian, they were saying trying to improve or make Mac bigger for more of that CQB feel. Is that a goal?
Yep.
Yeah,
Of course.
very cool.
You can't make it any smaller. It only has to get bigger.
Yeah, when I came up to it this year, I was like, holy shit, this has gotten much
It's
bigger.
like doubled in size.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. All the fights usually end up around there anyway. And it's a pain in the ass to attack. How often do you guys try to go play out?
Every weekend?
No, I mean
Yeah,
like
out of state.
out
out
of
of
state.
state.
Yeah, sorry.
At least
I'd say at least
What-
once a year.
At least one
Yeah.
good one a year, sometimes two. We're talking about like people wanted to get together to do spring offensive this year, but a lot of us aren't because we have something at Harris that we want to run.
New player day.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
unofficially, I think
yeah,
it's
we'll
not
only be, like,
officially
2 weeks
scheduled
into the
yet, but that's
season.
probably what it's going to be. So, but usually we try to get out and do at least something as a group.
Yeah, it's usually like it's routinely been Autumn Justice at the end of the year
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
usually
usually
one of the-
postseason.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier to get together.
Well, that makes sense. You guys are busy as hell during the airsoft season, tied up with all the Harris stuff and running all those games.
Right.
You know, how is Autumn Justice? How do you guys like it?
I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, you can play airsoft at Harris and you get the experience of playing, but like there's places where you can go where you can be attacked by a tank, and you just can't do that here. You get wildly different experiences. I mean, we went to it was GM Saga in Vermont before they shut down their field years ago, but like they had a pay extra and we'll fly you to the field in a helicopter, and you can fire the minigun out of the helicopter at people.
Any of you get to do that?
I did not. I think some of you guys paid for a
We-
helicopter ride
No,
or a different trip. Or it was a different
No,
one?
We got lucky.
it's a weird, it's a
Yeah.
weird story. There was some guys from Maine that paid for helicopter rides, and then bailed, and we were doing bad guy Taliban stuff, and sitting around the campfire with Tiger, and he asked like, "Oh, well, I have these extra helicopter slots. Do you guys want a helicopter ride?" And I was like, "Well, how do we do that on the bad guy team?" He's like, "Well, that's easy. We'll make it an objective that they capture some Taliban guys and fly them out." So we did that.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, they had to kill us, and then we surrendered, and then they dragged, black bagged us onto the helicopter kind of thing.
And that was at Autumn Justice?
No, it was GM Sog,
Yeah,
the
Vermont.
field, Tigers Field in Vermont.
Okay. So have you guys hit a field in all the states in New England pretty much?
Yeah, I think so.
Mostly, yeah. So New Hampshire, Feel Good Farms,
Yeah.
Vermont with GM Sog, Massachusetts
Connecticut
had
has,
UVG.
was it Wolcott?
I've never been.
I've been to Wolcott, so just
Mhm.
one game, but
And Fort Drum was in New York
Yep,
for
Fort
Pine
Drum.
Plains.
Look at that.
What are some of your favorite events to play on the local airsoft fields in New England? Like, what are some games that you guys try to get to?
Mostly ours, right?
Yeah,
I'd
most-
say.
Yeah, I mean our own, but try to get to at least Autumn Justice or Spring Offensive. 'Cause, I mean, those are realistically our large regional games that are available.
Yeah.
Very
We're
true.
going to try to hit Autumn Justice this year. I think it's possible. We talk about it every year.
We're gonna be trying to do that too. So
Yeah.
sign up with us.
What was Harris Field like when you guys first started playing there?
You would know better.
I think I answered this last time though. So somebody.
Did you?
somebody Else. Yeah.
I mean,
I
there
think
was
we
like
talked
nothing
about
to it.
this.
I don't know. I don't think you did.
How it was in the early days? No.
I don't. You may have mentioned it before or after the interview,
Oh, okay.
but in the interview, I don't think it's in there.
I think the only base that is still relatively the same, or well, two bases that are still relatively the same from when I started playing are probably Fort Harris and Jackal's Hold. Everything else
Jackals
is
didn't exist.
it didn't. It was just like
It was just
everything
top
was
of the
just
hill.
hilltop and wild trees. You know where Mac is was just forest. There was nothing there. I mean,
SGC is the same.
yeah, SGC is a rotten shell of itself. I mean, Echo, where you see now, it was just like this little triangular
Yep.
fort and a trash can nailed into a tree to be a satellite. There was
Yeah.
nothing to it.
Yeah,
No
it was
structure.
supposed to be like the base from Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Echo base.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
So there
But
was
it
Harris
meshed
Field
with
was
the
nothing.
alphabet because there was a Delta base that was down by Southbridge.
Was there?
Yes, it was on all maps.
Hmm.
We had to find it one day. Couldn't find it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's gone.
And
Lost in the woods
New
forever.
Delta is next to Echo, so there was an Alpha Bravo, Delta, and then we made Echo.
Yeah.
Alpha Bravo, yeah, Charlie up at it, yeah. So, the Jackals was added. That was added before we took over, though.
Was it?
Yes, but it was like a pile of sticks.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Most of the bases were
That's
just
how
piles of sticks.
almost every base was.
Right.
Yeah.
Dead
Yeah.
downed limbs just to build barricades.
Yeah.
I mean, we.
It made the grenade rules really easy.
Oh, I
If the
bet.
grenade was inside the bundle of sticks, you were out.
Yeah, for sure. When we run the tag in out on the field, the natural barriers, not the processed wood, we always just have as things that can, if it hits the barrier, you're done. If it's a natural
Oh,
wood
yeah.
barrier, but if it hits, you think of the processed wood as like a concrete building, and the grenade
Sure.
won't do anything to it. Yeah, those are always fun to try to get those rules figured out. What are some of the changes that have happened at Harris over the years that you guys really enjoy?
I mean, for me, we've done a lot of building. The building
Yeah.
structure. Make game flow better, but also we've dramatically increased like the amount of people that we're able to bring into games. I mean, was it Omar shared that we were at 96 players on average for this past season, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, he likes to make graphs, so the graph of average players, is,
Yeah.
there's like a slight dip for COVID, like every graph.
Yeah, well, he's keeping track of your growth. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean,
You
I
know?
would say Omar in general has done a great job for helping the field.
He
for
really
sure.
has.
Oh, yeah.
Omar's a huge-
He's Omar.
Yeah.
Single-handedly keeping the field.
We
alive.
would not have modern Harris without Omar.
Well, he's a good face of it. He makes everyone pretty welcome pretty quick.
Brings a lot of professionalism to it as well.
Yeah.
Everything seems very orderly. He has all the documents he needs and everything just there. I feel like a lot of times when I would go play airsoft back in the day, you just show up in someone's backyard and just kind of play.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of makes it feel more legit rather than just kind of showing up.
Well, as a newer team, that definitely feels very legit when you go there. My first time there was 2 years ago. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like, okay, this is where you go to play airsoft. This is the thing.
Yeah, we've done the backyard thing for a long time and just kept building up the stuff that we do just because we're like, well, we kind of want this. Well, let's fucking build it. All right,
Might as well.
But going to Harris for the first time, it definitely seems very well organized, thought out. The game seemed thought out. So thank you guys for participating and doing that. Are there any changes to Harris that have happened over the years that you guys don't enjoy?
Not really.
I feel like we went back and forth a couple of years on like how to balance out structures of teams. That was, I think, one of the harder times when we were splitting our team up, just to balance games up.
Yeah. But we
that
didn't get
sucks.
to play together
Yeah.
because one of us had to lead one team and one of us had to lead the other team, so you didn't we would go like months, I think is fair to say, without really being able to actually play with your team. It's
Right.
pretty rough.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sucks. That's the main
Yeah.
reason why we come and play at Harris or Coles,
But it
just
was-
so we can play.
It
on
was in the
team.
interest of trying to balance
Yeah,
out games
of course.
when we didn't have enough people that wanted to lead teams. But
Yeah, you had a kind of lull in the community of like actual teams, right? It's like
yeah,
Yeah.
there wasn't a
or
ton
people
of,
that
like,
could consistently
structured
come
teams
out.
in the community, so it was harder to have like leadership like we do now.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of split and take those roles on just to keep games flowing.
Yeah.
So
You got to be the parents of all the people coming
Right.
to play. You know, and keep people on the right track. Otherwise,
Yeah,
goes off the rails and becomes a bad game
drifts
very
into
quickly.
babysitting. The,
Yeah, hurting small herds of cats. You know.
the juggernaut rule thing
Oh yeah,
has
all right.
gone
That-
that's true.
ebbed and
yes.
flowed. That was really bad for. I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but that was really bad for a couple
Juggernaut
years.
rules. That's
Yeah,
what
so-
I hated.
Oh my
I remember
God.
seeing
Terrible.
Harris videos before I played there with Juggernauts. I haven't seen Juggernauts since.
Hopefully,
we-
you never will.
We
Okay.
tried really hard to get rid of that. There's still every once in a while somebody writes a game where it incorporates it somehow, but it's usually like we have to really try to get them to temper that. Nobody likes invincible players. It just doesn't mesh with the game.
Yeah.
You know. So that has dwindled. D-Day usually has one, but that's
Thematic for
it's
whatever Omar's
usually
doing.
yeah. It doesn't work as badly as it used to.
So what do you guys normally do with the Juggernaut?
We had varied ones. There was a season where like they were wearing like metal plates, and if like you could hear it hit them, they would like have to count it. But there were times where it's just like they can't even be killed. You just have to leave. Like it was scripted.
You were
They were
just
like
supposed to
scripted into
leave
the
the
game.
area that they were in.
Oh, okay.
To
Yeah.
force the game to go a certain way.
Okay, I've seen people. I'm not sure if it was in Harris or not, but videos I've seen they'll have them wear like 5 balloons. You know, and
Yeah.
once you get all the balloons off, then the Juggernaut's down.
Yeah, that would be a good rule because you
Right.
can take out. It's like halfway between a person and a vehicle. Sorry.
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad we don't have that as
Yeah,
much of a
that's-
problem
yeah, that was the
anymore.
right
That was
choice.
a pretty rough era where we were. It wasn't us doing it. It was like somebody would write a game that had it, and we'd be like, okay, and then some people inevitably would like that,
Yeah.
and so they'd write a game that had that also, but it became such a problem.
Well, that's kind of the thing with writing games or indoor running games. Like you have to listen to the people that come to your field, though. You
Yeah.
know, like
I think generally most people don't like that unless they're the juggernaut.
some people don't know that until they learn it, right?
Yeah.
We did a game. I don't know if you were there for that game, but they wanted some LARPing. You know, they wanted some character stuff out
Yep.
there, and so Austin and I think one other guy on our team, were just kind of like our own little thing, and we shot at people when we wanted to, and we helped them when we wanted to, and everybody wanted this, and then we did it, and then like, yeah, I don't like that. So you gotta, if you're organizing games or organizing a field, you have to have other people's opinions, you know, show in the games. You know, otherwise they're gonna feel like they're not heard. You know, but you gotta show them, yeah, well, we've tried it, we can try it again. You know, depending on how
I mean, we're in a constant state of experimentation
Right.
with rules.
Yeah.
Like, we'll let somebody write a game that has something weird in it. You're like, well, we don't know how that's going to play out because we've never seen it before, so try it.
There's no
Um,
playtest period with airsoft.
Right. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, well, if you just changed it a little bit, it would be fine.
yeah,
Like your World War One game.
Yeah.
That didn't work, but if you tweaked the capture points a little bit, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
And that was all that it was missing.
Yep, and we just adjusted on the fly because we had
Yeah.
to
right.
make it better.
And I think it's good that you guys,
Some games are duds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of
happens.
course.
They're like, we're not going to do that again.
like, I think the community knowing that you guys will even allow other people's games to do that, that's pretty awesome. They feel more involved, and
Yeah.
then again, it makes it feel more like a community. You know, might as well try it. You know, it's just airsoft. We're gonna call our hits hopefully, and
Yeah.
go back and respawn. You know, we're all there to shoot each other. That's the overall objective.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest change we saw as a field, you know, from the past to now is more structure in games. Like before, it used to be you show up and it was, you know, we just go off the fly, team deathmatch, capture the flag at the bridge. You know,
Yep.
it was just like random pickup games. And then we just made a huge effort to start structured games, make actual games. So having the community write those games for us, you know, it brought the community together, and we had to learn from mistakes on certain rules and certain game types for sure.
Being the house team, do you guys feel that other teams gun for you guys more often?
Some days.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Sometimes.
Yeah, let it know. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
How so?
I mean, you know, every now and then you get like a sideways look, or just like, you know, the brief recognition that we've showed up to a certain fight.
Yeah.
That whether good or bad. Like sometimes you know you're being pursued across the field, especially like in the games like in, you know, Pro League when we're hauling the bombs away. Like it's not just because we're hauling the bombs away, like people are coming to get it.
Or when you guys are out, we keep bumping into you over and over and over again. It's not coincidence.
Like I said last time, man, it's not. Okay, so we know it's you guys. We don't go, oh, let's back off. We're like,
Oh,
this.
no,
We
yeah.
go,
Wouldn't
this is
want
going to
you
be
to
fun.
that.
This is going to be a good time. We don't care if we get taken out or not. We know it's going to be a good fight, and that, you know, as Clock says, the fight within the fight, and we go for that too. We're not as concerned about the overall win of the day because we're there to.
Fight's worth it, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's cool when that happens. Oh, yeah, good. We did a good job. It was a good day. But we still feel that way. I think it was Clawhammer 2 years ago. I think it was the first time we ran into you guys. And we hung with you guys for like 25 minutes. And we're walking away, and the camera's like, dude, that was Opfor. We hung in there for a little bit. All right. And, you know, so I think it's unfounded for people to get pissy because you guys are good. You
We're
know,
not that good either, so
Yeah.
it's I'm sorry, not even joking.
You guys,
small pond.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
You should see the amount of mistakes we make in the average day
Well, that's
as a group is like,
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you guys are well tuned to your team because you guys have been together a long time.
Yeah.
You guys know the field because you work at it, and that, I mean, anyone that plays video games,
you know the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
you know, you as soon as you played a
Huge
map
advantage.
for like a month or two, your you know, game is that much better because you know where to run and you know where people are gonna go, and you just know that stuff. So, but also you guys, you know, show solid knowledge of tactics and definitely you guys know how to upgrade your guns.
Like, when you play with people long enough, like you don't even need to verbally communicate necessarily on the move.
Yep.
Kind of react to what you see somebody else doing and fill in the gap that forms. You know, and
I
they're-
know what Clock is gonna do
Yeah.
when I'm running with him.
You know, at this point, like I can ID Clock just by the sound of his gun, and I know where he is. I don't need to know that he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it happens, you know, the longer you play with people, the more you just get used to them.
Yep.
And you just work together, just naturally.
Yep. Now, Clock explained a little bit your buddy system. I think that's fantastic. That's a great way to do it. But no, I think I'm a kind of person personally that if I see someone that's better than me at something, I want to learn more from them. I don't want to put them down. And you guys have definitely been very open since I've seen you guys a few times here that, you know, you guys are open to that if people are willing to go up and talk to you.
Yeah,
You
100%.
I wanted to add earlier, we asked about what do you like about running with a team. And I think like we all have different things that we're like good at on the field, and I think when you're running with a group of people, your individual strengths will shine and your weaknesses will not be noticed.
Right.
Like, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
like I know what you're gonna do when we're in a building together and that's getting breached. I'm gonna get fucking killed. Or I'm gonna get hit, right? And you're gonna be the last person alive in a
In the
corner,
corner.
taking out people as they come in.
Yeah.
And like I know where you're gonna be. I'm gonna friendly fire you
In a
because
bush.
I forgot where you were.
I'm
You told
determined to
away.
go to said bush.
Right. But like I know that like when me, you, and Clock are pushing an objective, like I know we're gonna bound and be super aggressive together. And when you guys aren't around, I know I'm not gonna be super aggressive by myself because the goal is I need to hang back, I need to stay alive, and I need to keep the fight going until we have the momentum to do something. But like we all have different things that we're really, really good at. And
Heard you're very patient, Bruce.
I can be. Sometimes I'm very stupid.
Aren't we all?
And sometimes I'm just like, I'm running into this room.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just-
I
just
just
for
something
fun.
needs to happen here.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean, I'll stay in one window for half an hour, you know, popping up between windows and knocking out people. if that's what the fight needs,
Yeah.
that's what I'll do.
Do you ever, when you're on the field as Opfor, any of you guys, if you ever, and I'm asking this from the guys that run the games, do you ever find if a game's kind of slowing down or something, do you guys intentionally do some stuff maybe you wouldn't normally do, just so it brings up that, so you're consciously going, okay, the game's kind of getting slow, we're just going to go do this so it picks back up and everyone has a good time.
Yep.
Right?
We'll assault something randomly. Like, well, I have some video footage from last year where we took Mac, we didn't really have anything to do, and Pallet was not an objective, but I thought I saw somebody over there, so we attacked Pallet. There was a ton of people there, so we said, okay, well, this probably isn't worth it, so we left. But we just did it because it would be funny to do that. And at the same time, like, if a game is going badly because we're taking too much ground, we'll just back off and go do something else on a different side of the field, just to allow that area of the field to kind of recover.
Routinely carry like the extra set of like other teams' patches, so like if it gets terribly unbalanced, we'll swap.
We'll swap.
midday.
Yeah, we'll swap teams in the middle of a game if it gets really bad.
I'm pretty new, and I know when I'm out there, I'm watching you guys to learn and see how you play the field. And so I've gone to a few games without the team, just like made an effort to try to run with you guys just to grow as a player and get better at Harris in general and just play in that field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love to hand out learning opportunities. The more people we bring on, the more the more consistent you play, the more fun you're having, the more people show up. It's better for everybody. I like camping in a corner, but I also like figuring out when like people realize where I'm staying. It's an opportunity for me to learn more and find a different place, and it's an opportunity for other people to learn that they should be looking in places that they might not expect to find somebody.
That's a great point.
I have a really good picture of you and Marcus from that little half wall of school
Just at
at a Vietnam game. You have like your mouth covered and your pistol up to like get somebody as they lean over the wall.
he was right
and
there.
there's like a bunch of dead people around you guys. Nobody would expect somebody to be laying on the ground in front of that. It was wonderful.
Always love those kind of moments.
Yeah.
What kind of troubles do you guys find yourselves running into when you're both players and the mods on the field?
So it's not necessarily self-moderation, but like if you have an incident with a player and it's just like when you're the one who is engaged with them, it's hard to not have a conflict of interest there. It's like I want to moderate that, but like it's me. The issue is between him and me. I would like to have somebody else handle this situation because I don't want this to be perceived as something like I'm doing this because I'm the mod and I'm exerting my power over you.
Yeah.
I don't ever want it to be like that.
Exactly.
Can't be everywhere at once either.
Yeah.
The opposite. But yeah, if you get into something with somebody, it's like I can't call you out because I'm the one who hit you.
Yeah.
So like I need to walk away and hope that somebody else can come deal with this. Or it never goes well when you try to moderate your own incidents. But
No, I imagine that's tough. Because you're going to have people immediately, and that's just because they're human beings. But well, you're the mod. Of course you're not going to call yourself out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that sucks. That's a shitty position for you guys to be in. And I'm sorry. That's just.
Fortunately, it doesn't happen a lot.
Good.
No,
you guys
it's not.
handle it really well.
We've
Yeah.
definitely learned lessons. I think a difficult part of being a mod is the fact that you have to like pay attention to it, right? Like where everybody can come and enjoy themselves and have a good time. Like you're hyper fixated on how the game's running, what people are doing, and how the community feels, right? So sometimes there's days that feel like it's a job, and it's not. You're not having fun, right? Especially when you have to get in those conflicts with people and de-escalate situations and stuff. It's tough walking away from that and getting back in the game and having fun with the boys. When you're kind of somebody is upset, right? You have to be involved in that. But yeah.
Well, I think that's important for the community to realize about you guys. You're not just playing. You're running the games. You're modding the games and making sure everyone has a good time. And I'm not sure if that always pops into everybody's head when they think, "Oh, it's Opfor."
Right.
I think that's important.
A lot of other fields across the country will have like dedicated mods invest or on payroll, and that's something that we don't have. So I think that's something that we have to try balance of trying to be a mod there, but also we all want to play the game. So we don't want to completely just walk around in a vest all day. So we're trying to find a good balance between that.
You also don't see anything when you walk around in a vest all day. I don't know.
It's
you,
true.
you could probably attest to that.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
people know when you're there watching. You see a lot more when you're playing and when you're sneaking up on something, and as you're coming over a wall, you're like, hold on a second, what's happening here?
Yeah.
You know. Or you see like the hands and the guns come over the wall, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
here we
The
go.
blind fire.
Yeah.
It always happens.
Yeah. Or on the other side of things, when you're self-moderating your team, right?
Yep.
If you're standing, like you said, if you're standing there in an orange vest, people are more apt to like, oh, a moderator's watching me. But when you're just there as a regular player, and your teammate, 10 feet away from you, takes a hit, and you're standing there watching them, like, it's always a good opportunity to be able to call your teammate out too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
No, that's really important. People, I've noticed, whether it's our field or at one of the local fields, I don't know if people always mean to cheat, but there's always going to be people there that just aren't paying attention. Whether it's the hype of being in the game, they're gonna blind fire. Some people are going to do that.
Usually we'll play when someone blind fires on me. I don't know if you guys do the same. I usually will just play through it and then talk to them after.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't usually stop because
Right.
I'm just like, well, you're not going to hit me anyway because
You're blind
you're
firing.
not gonna hit me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll
Yeah.
come up, hit him, and then be like, don't do that again.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
in general, that's the purpose.
yeah,
right? It's
we're trying
we're
not to
trying
to
yell
stop
at
the
someone.
game and yell
It's-
at somebody.
It's
Where
more of a coaching, like, hey man, like,
yeah,
you were
Yeah.
in the midst of
Or, like,
this. But,
that's
like,
unsafe.
That was not a good thing to do.
yeah. If it's a safety issue, but it's only me, I don't care as much. I guess it's not that. It's more like, oh, I know this is unsafe for these reasons, but I don't need to stop the game to
You
deal
don't
with
want to
it
like
because
pause
it's me.
the whole game
yeah,
to address the situation, tell all the players to stop shooting so we can walk over and talk to
Right.
them. I mean, it happened one time at a Coles game this year. And it
Yeah, we were there for
definitely
that one.
ruined the flow of the engagement, and then we all had to pick back up. And it turned out that everything was fine the whole time. And I feel like something like that could have gone smoother, and that's what we tried to work on.
Was that down on Mainbridge?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I think someone said they thought they shot someone's hand or something.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of kids in the base, and the other team didn't realize there were like 4 or 5 of them. So one of the kids got hit, and they thought that there was only one kid in the base. So then they got a mod, and then the mod paused the game, came over and looked at the base, saw that there was 10 people in and around the base, said it was fine, and then resumed the game. And that just kind of ruined the flow. What could have happened is he could have just walked over, didn't pause the game, take a look, and be like, oh, 10 people in the base, 2 are dead. They definitely took the base.
Yeah.
you can sort things out after the firefight when you can, like, because sometimes what you think you saw is not what actually
Yeah.
happened.
A lot.
That happens a lot. So
Yeah.
letting things play out until you're like, okay, this is definitely a safety issue that involves other people that we need to address. But usually just play through it.
I think you guys do a great job. I really do. Coach or mod, however you want to put it, 100 different kids, maybe a quarter of them have never played before, which
Yeah.
I always love seeing.
A lot of new
I love seeing
players.
little
Yeah.
kids out there. I think it's hilarious. We had
Just
one.
as dangerous as the adults.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And there was this one kid at the Grenza game, and he's just running with his Springer, and he's like, pop, 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 and it's like, oh, it's fantastic. As mods, how much complaining do you guys hear during a typical game?
During the game, I'd say that varies significantly from day to day. But usually the stuff we hear is all like post game. When
Nice.
people start reviewing their videos and things like that. Because
Yeah.
like you can't just like
It's the
bust out
parking
your gun
lot.
cam or your helmet cam and just check the footage right there. There's no instant playback.
Do you have a lot of people that contact you guys after the fact because they watch their footage?
A handful.
Yeah,
Really?
it's very much a slim minority. Like you
Okay.
think the problem was a lot bigger than it is, but I don't think it is. Like, you get footage, and a lot of times you get the footage, you're just like, I can't see anything in this.
Go right there. I swear that's where it happened.
Buy a better camera, nerd.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that for the most part, the community is like fine, right? We don't usually have issues. I think the issues we have are, people tend to bark a little louder when they're upset. So
Yep.
you hear about it, but like,
People get mad, but then they get over it.
exactly.
And we don't have issues that persist, I
No,
would say.
Yeah, it's very small amount of things, but usually when something happens, it's a tough one to deal with for sure. So
You get
All
what
right.
you put in. We put a lot into the
Very
sport,
true. Yeah.
into every aspect of it,
Yeah.
and not everyone's willing to go to the same commitment level of us. So
Not yet.
sometimes those type of people can butt heads when they perceive us as, oh, these guys are real tryhards or
Tryhards,
something.
yeah.
But also, it's a big part of our lives, so we enjoy doing it. It's something we all connect on and just enjoy spending our time with.
Well, I think it's such a great cross-platform for exercise and nerdiness and all day.
We're all just big nerds.
Just
I mean,
for
we're all
real.
playing with
Yep.
toy guns in
Yeah.
the woods.
Yeah.
None of us are cool.
So last week when Bruce came over, we had just watched a clip of the Charge of the Rohirrim for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, hell yeah.
And while watching that, I went to my kid. I'm like, hey, when was the last time you watched Lord of the Rings? He's like, I don't know. I was a baby when I watched it. I was like, okay, we're watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So we sat for 3.5 hours watching the extended edition. And I know, it's okay. I know that Lord of the Rings is a pretty nerdy deal, but I love it. I don't care.
Yeah,
You know, right? I mean, we all have those things that we nerd out about. And I think Airsoft is such a healthy way to do that. You know, guys that like the exercise, they're going to love it. How do you guys feel about talking the clock? I know, like the competitive aspect of it. Where do you guys fall for that? Do you like seeing the more competitive, like people? When I say competitive, I don't mean the guys that freak out because they get taken out. But like, do you like being pushed when you're on the field?
I like
Oh,
a
yeah.
challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, it's no fun if it's just easy play all day long. You know, like I don't want to just be able to storm a base just because somebody's just taking it easy. You know, I would rather have somebody challenge my capability and just find out that, oh, well, maybe I ought to change something because it's not working because they were able to put a challenge to it.
Yeah.
You never be able to grow and play better if you never challenge yourself or expect to be challenged in that way. You can't win every time. And honestly, winning isn't what I take home. You know, having a win at the end of the day, sure, great, whatever. I'm taking home the fun memories, the laughs, the good fights that I got into, you know, the people that I spent the day with.
Right.
I mean, a lot of you guys in Opfor, you're well over 100 games at Harris, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the win, I imagine, doesn't affect you guys that much. I'm sure you've won enough and lost enough, it doesn't really even register.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really could care less
Right?
if we win or lose a game.
I think it's just a
100%.
lot of us are just competitive nature people. So like we like the competition of it. It's not about winning, but it's the intensity of it.
Yeah.
So
It's
like,
about the
win or
individual
lose,
fight.
it's just doing it. So we don't want to just go there and half-ass it.
Yeah.
We want to go there and give it our all, win or lose.
That's the best way to attitude to have.
I'm not hanging on to my defeats at the end of the day.
Was that?
I'm not hanging on to my defeats at the end of the day, nor am I hanging on to the wins. You know,
Yeah.
it's just the games played and the enjoyment from it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really cares about the score of a game at the end of the day. We just like, did I have good fights? Were they fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
How many mistakes did I make in a fight versus, you know,
I mean,
oh, I
it's
did
no
that well.
fun if
or-
one team's killing the other for both teams. Because if you're just on the team that's winning, you're just shooting fish in a barrel. And if you're on the team that's losing, you're getting shot all the time. I
Yeah.
don't think that's fun for anyone. I think the best way is when it's really balanced and you can really go at it.
So, also for future reference, if you guys ever hear me dropping when we're out there and you shoot me and I'm fuck, usually it's just because it scares me. It's not being mad. What I think it was either Chuck or Zach shot me at in the back at clawhammer through a window at Gully, and I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Not mad in the least bit.
Surprise.
I was not expecting it. I mean, I knew you guys were coming, but through that window, was not expecting. I should have. Learning.
Yep.
You know, right? But I noticed that you sometimes have the same reaction on the field when you get shot. You watch it. It's like, son of a bitch. So please don't ever think I'm angry. If I'm angry, it'll be a much different. I would go over and talk to somebody. Like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? You know, not in the middle of a game. It'll be after a game. But what are some of the things that players that you guys have found complain about most often?
Usually it's the problems we face during the day are it's hit calling.
Hit calling
The
is always,
accusations of hit calling. I'd say 90% of what we deal with.
Yep.
And most of the time I can't help you. I didn't see it. Your camera didn't get a good shot of it. You know, I don't want to condone cheating or expect people to do it, but like I want people to experience it, report it. We'll try to intervene and then let it go.
if we get enough information on an incident or a person that's habitually doing stuff, like we deal with it.
Yeah, the more we can corroborate it,
Yeah.
the better.
But yeah, it's
It's a running theme for all these interviews is hit calling, and
the biggest problem with
Yeah.
sport.
really trying to hammer home, especially for guys such as yourselves and people like Peanut and people that are Gordon, Omega, people that are well respected in our local community, especially, that it's an honor sport, and the people that you look up to aren't going to be very fond if you're not going to be honorable. You start ruining the sport that way. So hopefully, people that watch these start seeing that message resonate. Like, hey, people don't care how good you do if you're cheating. If you're cheating, man, then people are going to be looking down on you. Like, no, we're all set. Thanks.
Yeah, good for you. Nice win.
Yeah, right? Because talking to you guys and other players, the win is really rarely ever the focus. It's just having a good fight with people that are honest.
Yeah.
You know? So don't waste your time cheating. What are some of the biggest advantages of being Team Opfor when it comes to playing at Harris? I mean, we've already covered them, but
Yeah, I think we
yeah.
Yes.
did cover.
I would just say realistically being able to play with the same group of guys that you've gotten used to playing with over the years.
Yeah.
It gives you a huge advantage. And it's not necessarily that like it makes you better at airsoft. You know, you're not just some godlike kingpin. It's just you get better at working with your team.
Cover me.
Like you said, you build off of each other's strengths, and the weaknesses that everybody has don't come through as hard because everybody can fill in those gaps for each other.
Yeah, squad cohesion.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Yeah.
For sure. We're learning that more and more as the years go on. Do any of you, this is not a question on here, but just kind of curious to see how much of a dork I am. Do any of you guys ever feel bad when you see one of your guys go down? Like, you're ever like, oh no! Like, I do. I get that
All the time,
right?
yeah.
I'm like, oh no! Andy's down! And I know I'm just like, we're shooting, it's a BB war. But still, I get this, like, thing.
Yeah, you feel it more when it's just like when it's one after the other, and you slowly realize that like, you're becoming the last guy, and you're just like, oh, this is not great.
Yeah, that goes from like I feel like a thing, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
suddenly there's no more sound coming out of the room next to you, and you realize
Yeah.
you're alone.
Yeah, we've had that happen a couple times with you guys.
Yeah. You hear me yelling, "Clock you up!" Nothing, and you're like, "Okay."
Ah.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's so important for the immersion of the game, though, being that last man standing, because you feel that.
Yeah.
You feel like,
Totally.
oh no, I'm alone. They're all done, and they're coming. So yeah, that for me, that's always kind of best way to put it. An anxiety-ridden moment, not being too vulgar about it. When it comes to adding new players to the team, what do you guys look for in team members?
So that's what we do the other night. I mean, it's people who just kind of end up running with us. You know, you're, I don't know, I would say kind. Normal's a strange in a stretch
Yeah.
for that,
Not
but
too
like,
normal.
you know, I don't know, not like irritating and full of yourself and trying to make trouble. Like people kind of just fit in naturally with us. You know, we've picked up a lot of individuals over the years who just they play with us week after week after week, and after time, you're just kind of one of us.
Yeah.
I like it in your definition because I had the same kind of answer last time. Nothing to do with how good they are at airsoft.
It's got
'Cause
nothing
that
to do
usually
with that.
doesn't come up.
No, because you can work with people that don't really play the sport, that
Sure.
much, and they start getting into it, and they're hanging around you guys, and you'll see very quickly once they start feeling part of the team and they start learning from you guys or us or whoever they're running with, that they start picking it up quick. You can't. It's much harder to fix someone that's just naturally an asshole.
Yeah.
You
really can't.
right? Yeah,
Right.
it's hard. It's really hard. When they're good people and it's a good fit, then the world just keeps spinning.
People just kind of fit in seamlessly.
Yeah.
Eventually you
Like
think that they've been
people.
there the whole time.
Yeah,
Like people attract like people.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's how we all came together. It's why we're all moderators as well, because it's the same thing. It's like it's just a hodgepodge of people that have showed up to the field and stuck with it. And oh man, this guy's good. We've run with this guy a couple weekends in a row. We'll have him run with us more, and then that turns into a relationship. You get to know the person, and years go by and you're like, we trust this person enough, we bring him as moderator. So I think that's how the whole thing happens. It's how we get our teammates. It's how we get our moderators.
Organically.
Exactly.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
For sure. We're very similar in that aspect. Usually someone will, hey, I have a friend that wants to come up and try this. We're getting to a point where I don't know how much more that can happen because we're getting maxed out on how many people we want on our team. But, they'll come up and I find more often it's someone's like, yeah. Then they showed up one game, they don't come back, or they come back for another one, and or how often with new players you guys hear, "Oh, I want to be a sniper."
Yeah.
Did we not all start that way?
Oh yeah.
No?
I did not.
You
Nope,
didn't?
I did not. I ended up having some, but I did not start that way.
Yeah. I just wanted to be quiet.
That's fair.
My first couple
stuck
games,
with
I had a
it long
bolt
enough to get decent at
Yeah,
it.
you're really good at it. Yeah.
I wanted to start off with an LMG. That's where I wanted to start.
Yeah, there are
That
two
was one of my
paths.
starting points. Yep.
And then I did for a couple years, and then I got older. I'm like, no, I'm not lugging this thing around anymore. I'm all set. That was it. After my arms just like, no, you're done. I'm all set. And I was like, okay, someone else can do
You
that.
had a
from
saw
now.
for a long time.
I've had multiple saws over the years, and 9 times out of 10, they're outrageous pieces of crap.
Yeah.
They don't
They
perform.
break all the time.
They break. The box mags don't feed. You spend more time in the back of the line trying to make it work than you do actually at the front being of any use to
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of weight for no payoff.
Years ago, I got the gun of Rambo up there.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And
One,
I
2, or 3.
never was able to field it because it broke before then, and I can't figure it out.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a box mag issue, so I ordered another box mag, and I think I broke it before actually putting it back in, and I was like, forget it, I'm done with this for now. It looks good on the wall for now. Swift, just letting you know that,
I mean, box mags, Bull Gear is your go-to for it. Russian company, and they just make box mags for every LMG. And if you don't run a Bull Gear mag, you probably aren't going to have a working mag.
Okay, you just spoke a bunch of stuff I didn't understand.
We talked about him last time I was here. We mentioned it was the guy you PayPal his cousin in Lithuania.
Oh,
and he ships
okay.
it to you. It's that guy.
All right.
Yeah. He makes the good box magazines.
And they
All
work.
right.
I don't know. It's just 249 or does he do M61?
Oh, he does like everyone now.
Right,
Oh,
Every
even does the
variation,
Stoner.
pretty much.
He even does stoner.
Dude, the
Not
Stoners with the weird, the top feed is the only saw that I've ever had that feeds properly.
Yeah.
That weird little jank top feed wire that comes out of the box outside and then feeds directly down into the top.
We've had pretty good luck with the Shrikes that we use.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Crystack ones?
Yeah, I know it's not it's an LMG, but not.
Yeah, close enough.
You're right.
Yeah, my only issue is some ops don't allow Shrike kits.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
their gamer.
Yeah,
gamer
I've seen that. I was
LMG.
really happy when the first time I read the Harris rules and I saw that they were allowed. I'm like, thank God. What do you hope that the future brings for Team Opfor?
More of the same, realistically.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing pretty good. We bring on more people. We get used to. We've been building the field more. The sport has never been more popular in the years that we've been playing. I don't think we've ever had years where we've had this many people out. Not ever. Harris might as well have been backyard airsoft when we started, just on a bigger scope. And now it is so much bigger, so much more developed, so much more organized than it ever has been before. And I'd like to see that just continue.
I would say more other teams to develop so that we all can
That's
go at it more. So if we're the only team out there, it doesn't really work well. But now that you guys are coming out and other teams are starting to get really big, Stingers are coming out all the time, it's just more fun for everyone.
Yeah, I feel that. Heard that a lot from especially your guys. More teams, that more bringing back that Opfor Wolfpack rivalry feel.
Yeah.
And I agree. As long as everyone stays cool with each other, I think that's absolutely gonna happen.
Friendly rivalries are what built us to what we are now.
Right?
We wouldn't be here without it.
What do you hope to see happen at Harris in the next 5 years?
5-year plan.
Yeah, I always go by a 5-year plan.
See, let's install a form of labor.
No more sparrows,
Yeah.
ideally.
Yeah,
No more
more
what?
sparrows, more labor.
All right.
But realistically, I'd say, we do the build days every year, and we expand what we have. And realistically, that's probably going to keep happening. Some of the other bases that are probably a little bit more rough and run down are probably going to get rebuilds, hopefully. And, more community building. I think this is great. I think this is going to help build us further than we ever have been.
I hope so. You know, it's you guys were the whole idea of it for me. I think I had said to you, I think I probably said to Cocktail, I repeat myself a lot to people. But I didn't like, after the Clawhammer game, the Discord garbage that people were talking. Really made me mad, you know? And so I was like, well, you know, people need to know people before they can just start spewing a bunch of crap. You know, I think it's important for people to know how much you guys put into this field and put into airsoft in your life. It's like my life is my wife and kids, airsoft, and work. You know, and if I'm not with my wife and kids, it's airsoft related or work. You know, I wake up with my wife, go to work, go home, edit for like 2 or 3 hours, sit with my wife and kids, go to bed.
It's true. We work together and we get in trouble all the time for talking airsoft.
Like all the time. Yeah, I have to walk to his department to do whatever, you wash a paintbrush or whatever, and we'll start talking airsoft, and then 10 minutes go by, and my other manager, who was also on the team, is like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Oh yeah.
But he's like, a good 5 inches taller. No, sorry, Eric. He's 7 inches taller than I am. So what am I gonna do? Sorry, I'll go back to work now. But yeah, I mean, talking to Peanut, it's really a way of life. Airsoft, it really gets in your bones, man. It's just that much fun. I'm sure you guys agree. Clearly, you guys have spent tons of time, money, effort on it. What do you guys hope to see from airsoft in the next 5 years? Overall,
For like innovations in airsoft, like in
just
guns?
anything, man.
Better tolerance in QC.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, well, let's repeat that one more time.
Better tolerance and QC amongst the products. I mean, most airsoft guns barely function out of the box. So to get them to a point where they perform well, and then beyond that is a lot of work. And I think that's a lot of people don't love having a gimmicky gun. So like that's one of the reasons I try tech for anyone who wants it, is because I think that if everyone has their gun where they can point it and pull the trigger and hit someone at 200 feet, makes the game that much better. So I think just everyone getting a nicer gun is definitely something I hope happens in airsoft.
All right. Here's a question that's not on the list, but I'd like to ask. Why do you guys run heavier BBs? Why do it?
I ran as a sniper for many, many years, and running heavy BBs was always a thing with sniping. One of the biggest issues back then was getting nice, high-quality BBs. So it's always been known that heavy BBs are better. The reason that they are better is they hold the kinetic energy better. So therefore, when you shoot it, they're just going to keep on going and going, where a light BB, that kinetic energy is going to keep dropping out faster, so it's going to fall and drop sooner. So by running the heavier BBs, although your FPS is slower, at 100 feet, it's going to have a higher joule than a 2.5 at 100 feet. So at that 100 feet, it's going to go even further. So that's kind of the concept of running heavyweight BBs. Another aspect of it is also consistency. So when you run the lightweight BBs, you could get a lot of variation. It hits a twig, it goes flying off another direction. When you run heavyweight BBs, you're less likely to do that. And especially since we all play in Maine in the summer when it's very dense vegetation, heavyweight BBs help you kind of shoot through those bushes and twigs, and then you can get the people rather than it flying off in a million directions and having just like, a branch being a bulletproof shield for someone. So little things like that just help the guns act more like a real rifle. We'll never achieve a real rifle, but I think...
I hope not.
Of course, we don't want to die, but I mean, it definitely just makes the game more and more realistic when you can accurately shoot someone and have them call their hit, feel it, and just not waste as much ammo too.
Yeah, no, that's a great call. And I'm pretty sure I knew the answer, but still, for anybody watching, I think it's important to know that, it makes for a better experience. I mean, that's what we're all always trying to do, is just to make for a better experience on the field.
It's all performance, not about harm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course it is.
And to clarify, like the ceiling on energy that you can impact someone with is already set.
Yeah.
So
So
the
one
rule is the rule. You can't be hit harder than this, and a 2.5 and a 4 are both going to feel like this at a certain range. But the further away you get, the lower the 2.5 goes, and the less low the 4 goes, or whatever.
Yeah, the gun is never going to exceed the limit. So I think it's like 1.85 joules. You're never going to go beyond that. But at 100 feet, you might be at 1 joule instead of half a joule.
Yeah. All right.
Is there any risk to running heavyweight BBs on a regular AR platform?
I wouldn't say risk per se, but you got to build the gun to be able to take it. So a lot of times you got to have really good compression, full cylinder, better spring, stuff like that, to just make sure that the gun can handle it. Now, HPA is a little bit easier to get to handle heavyweight. You just kind of crank up the pressure and air volume. But to do with an AEG, you got to do a little bit more tech work and tuning just to get the right performance.
I agree if you want it to be efficient, but you don't necessarily, like, you can run fours
You
in
could,
a stock gun.
definitely, but, I
you
mean-
won't get all the performance benefit of it. Like, you'll tend to...
At the very least, you need a better hop-up system.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
the
just put
hop-up-
it in a stock hop-up.
A lot of hop-ups can't exert that much pressure on a heavy BB, so you don't get the range out of it. But there's also the air volume. Like, a lot of stock guns will be under-volumed because they know people are going to run lighter BBs in them, so they don't need all that extra air. And when you run heavy BBs in a gun like that, you end up losing, like, the amount of FPS you drop switching to the heavy BBs is much more substantial than if you design the gun to be able to shoot heavy BBs out of, in the first place. Does that make sense?
I think the safety risk, like you said, is the energy limit, right? As long as you don't
Yeah.
exceed the energy limit, there's no safety risk to breaking glasses or anything like that.
Yeah,
At
it's not,
point
that's
blank
where you get
range,
it.
a 2.5 and a 0.4 at 1.85 joules is the same energy.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to magically have more or less, and one's going to cause more
yeah,
damage.
It's not going to break
the same
skin
energy.
more
Yeah.
than the
Yeah.
other one.
So
or
unless you're
something
going to
like that.
ban point blank shots, then there's no real any safety difference between the BBs. It's just at longer ranges, they're just going to hold a bit more energy, but it's never going to be more than the muzzle velocity.
All right.
Honestly, the heavy BBs is almost a disadvantage at certain close ranges.
Yeah, so there is like a little range, probably like 50.
Like within 30 feet, I would say.
Well, I
is,
mean, at 30 feet, it's so fast it doesn't matter. But I'd say
Yeah,
around
but-
like 30 to like 100 feet might be a little bit less
Maybe.
because that gives people
it's,
reaction
it's
time.
the difference of catching somebody as they're moving through a door or a window, though, and not hitting them.
Yeah. So
Um,
there is a little disadvantage, but I'd also say, like, because most of us play field, especially in
Right.
Maine, there's
The
a lot more
advantages
advantages
drastically
than that.
outweigh the
If you're doing
disadvantages.
indoors, 2.5s are probably fine. I mean, most of your ranges aren't going to be more than 200 feet ever indoors, but outdoors, I mean, that's like every engagement.
Right.
All right.
At 200 feet, a 4 is getting to the target faster than a 2.5.
Okay.
But at 30 to 50 feet, the 2.5 is almost definitely getting to that person faster than the 4 is.
All right. I appreciate you guys clarifying that and give us a little lesson on that.
There's a chart somewhere. Didn't
Right.
Ruben do like a science project on this for school or something? I swear.
Yeah, but
There's a very cool graph of all the BB weights, and yeah.
What advice can you give to new airsofters, whether it's lone wolves or being on a team or whatever? What have you guys learned over your long periods of airsoft?
All right. So when I started, I ended up on Wolfpack pretty much almost right away at Harris, and then as Wolfpack disintegrated, mostly I played by myself, and so I've experienced the team and lone wolf dynamic. And realistically, you can fill either role, and if you keep at it, and you find people that you like, and in turn enjoy your company, chances are you can fill either role. You know, you can play on a team together one day, and you can disappear into the woods all by yourself, and you can maintain both of those ways. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think the biggest thing is finding people that you connect with. And don't be afraid to ask people who look like they've been at it for a while either. You know, don't be intimidated by somebody who looks like they've been at it for 20 years. You know, we're friendly. We'll talk to you.
Nick Lane,
We'll
make
take you on.
friends.
We will take on new players. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, we might not think of it right away, but like if you ask us, we're not just going to be like, piss off. You know?
I think the barrier entry is a big thing with newer players. It's like they just assume they have to come out with all the gear, right? If they don't have the vest, if they don't have the gun, they don't have everything, like they can't come play airsoft. And I think that's the worst way to look at it. Like you really don't need anything. I mean, footwear is like the biggest thing you need, right?
Yep.
People look at all the photos and all the online stuff, and they think they just have to spend all this money, and I don't think that's the case. I think you just come out, rent for a while, and grow and learn the sport and build that community.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how easily things take off. I know teching's a big thing for people. They don't want to get into teching. I tried teching. I fucking hated it. That's why I found a group of people that do that. They help me with that stuff, right? So it's looking at it. If it's just you, right, you'll never get there. But if you try to prioritize that community base, trying to find a team, reach out to those people, go to the field and look at the guys that are the best and try to roll with them. Ask if you can roll with them. I know people come up to us sometimes and ask if they can roll with us, and oftentimes those people end up becoming our friends because they just reached out to us. So,
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing for new players that they don't understand.
Yeah, that's a great point. We had RJ and Declan and their friend there asked if they could roll with us for Exclusion Zone. And I've always liked RJ, talking to them. And then they came over and played a couple games. And we're like, hey, do you guys just want to be on our team? You guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a team? Do you want to be on one? I didn't see anyone snatch them up. And they're just awesome people.
Yeah.
And now they're on our team. And that's a great point, is don't have the, don't be shy and not go talk to people that look like they've been doing it for a while, because they'll help you out a lot. That's great advice. I think Peanut said the same thing. Try renting first before you just go spend a shitload of money.
Yep.
I was gonna say, don't start sniping.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
many
Oh,
reasons
God.
for it, and some of them being the guns are really not that good. You can get a rental or a basic gun out of the box and have a great time. You get a sniper out of the box, you're not gonna have a great time. It also isolates you from the community, because most snipers want to go crawl in a bush. So you show up, you get a really shitty gun, and you can't hit anything, and then you go hide all day. It doesn't really set you up for engaging with the community and having a good time. So I just recommend, even if you want to be a sniper, show up with an electric gun, do a rental, play a couple games, find some friends, and then maybe find some other people who want to try sniping with you. Or just who maybe you don't want to snipe anymore, now you want to go buy an LMG. But I'm just throwing that out there because I've always recommended that to pretty much everyone. Don't start sniping, but if you want to transition into it, go for it.
I think that is phenomenal advice, because I will say 90% of the players that we've taken on have all started off with that same, I want to be a sniper.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, man. I mean, we have those. They're on the wall. If you notice that no one's taking them off the wall because they're there. It's a cool dynamic to do every once in a while. I enjoy it.
It's good having a support person that
Yeah.
does it, like when you do it, or the Golden Age of Bo.
Yep.
It could be 5 or 6 of us moving on an objective. Bo would go off on his own on a flank, and he'd pop up 20 minutes later, kill half the enemy team, or hit half the enemy team, and
Yep.
then we'd swarm in.
Yep.
He was really good at it, and it was really nice to have, like, you hear his quiet gun off in the distance. And be like,
How
oh,
long did he play before he started doing that?
He
came that
started
way.
out that way. Yeah.
Oh, he started out that
That
way.
was how he
One
liked
of the
to play.
few.
He's
Sweat.
But he-
that
but
boy was
liked-
born a natural.
He liked to work with us rather than going off and hiding and getting a couple people. He liked to work with a bigger group of people to attack an objective in a couple different ways, and
Strategy.
that dynamic works really, really well.
All right.
You
Bo
kind
and
of do
Taylor
that
are
too
always so
sometimes.
good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
guys-
there's definitely a
okay.
role for sniping, but it's one of those roles where you honestly have to invest a lot of money and time. It just comes down to that. There are other roles you can get into and just pick up and play, but to do a sniper right, you have to spend a lot of money on the rifle to get it to perform better than a stock AEG. And then a lot of times you end up buying a lot of like ghillie suits and gear like that, and then you really want to build your own ghillie suit.
And
So
you
you
get
got to
stuck
put in
with
a
it.
lot of time
Yeah.
for that role,
And
and it
effort.
is a good role if you put in the dedication. But I just would say for new people, transition into it if you want to do it. Start with just basic electric gun and see if you like the sport. Find some people.
Go
When
to
you
your
make a
local Army
mis-
Navy store. Buy cheap M81 because it's old surplus and it costs nothing. Buy a
Exactly.
$10 chest rig because that's all you need, and goggles that don't get your eyes blown out, and you're good to go.
I think the whole sniper craze is a lot of knob rich and kicking mustache.
Oh yeah, very much
and
so.
whatnot. What's your?
They don't show them getting swarmed when they make a mistake
Oh,
either, though.
No, I was gonna
My
say.
favorite thing is 3 of us swarming a guy with a bolt
Oh,
action
he's got a
gun
100
when
foot
he
MED,
misses.
guess we'll just get closer.
Just
Well, no, exactly.
run at him.
No one shows, or at least not a lot. They don't show the follies. They just show the, oh, I kicked ass. Look at me go.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a spot for that too. There's a spot for everything in airsoft, which is, I love about it. But I really appreciate you guys sitting down and taking the time to do this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you for having
absolutely.
us.
I appreciate your guys' story. I appreciate all you do for the local community, because it probably wouldn't be the same without you guys doing what you do. So thank you.